What up? I haven't done a cooking video in a while, so we're gonna do one today. Woo! Chicken marsala! Our mushrooms went bad. Kathleen's stopping to get some on the way home. So we'll get into this video right now. All right, I got to jump on it, but I'm going to show you what we're going to need. You're going to need some chicken broth, 2 cups. You're going to need 2 large shallots. You're going to need some salt. You're going to need some pepper. You're going to need 8, what are they, sage leaves? I didn't have sage leaves, so look what I did. I made a little tea bag, and I filled it with sage. So we're going to try that out. I'll tell you how that works in the comments later. Okay, you take your chicken. I cut it into strips. I put my flour here, bam, I hit it with salt, I hit it with pepper in the flour, I mix it all up, and then I toss these little suckers around in here until they get nice and coated like this. Boom, 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 boom. You're gonna need some butter, you're gonna need some, what is it? Olive oil, there it is, okay? I put just enough to coat the pan, a little bit of olive oil in there, about a tablespoon of butter, mix it together, then I turn it on, I brown the chicken. Once I have the chicken browned, I'll take the chicken out of this pan, I'll set it aside, I'll wipe out this pan, and then I'll start my water. Okay, get the water boiling. By the time you get that going, this will catch up, and you'll be ready to drop your noodle. Once you put your broth in, you should be able to drop your noodle. So that's about the timing on it, okay? So I'm gonna turn that off right now. Okay, back over here, we're gonna grab this chicken and we're gonna start browning it. I'll brown it till it's nice and golden on each side, and then I will pull it. Hold, please. All right, so this is the point where I've already flipped the chicken once. It's got a nice sear to it. I'm gonna pull it off, set it aside, and start up my water. Get the mushrooms in there, start sweating them down. All right, we dropped the mushrooms, we got those going. We're gonna add a little bit of salt to taste, a little bit of pepper. I'll grind this, and then we're going to let these cook down for 3 to 4 minutes. All right, so at this point, once they've turned from a white to a brown on your mushrooms, and it's been about 3 to 4 minutes, go ahead and put in about another little tablespoon of olive oil and get your shallots going. And you can also throw in 8 bay leaves. It says 8. What kind of leaves are these? No, sage. 8 sage leaves, which we didn't have. So we ended up making a tea bag out of it. We'll see how that goes. So anyhow, I put the oil in there. I leave the shallots kind of big because I have an issue with shallots and onions, so I could pick them out later, but other people like them. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll cook that down for about 3 to 4 minutes. And once those become a little translucent, then we'll add the Marsala wine, 3/4 of a cup, and a little flour, and we'll go ahead and cook that down until it cooks down to about a half of that. So we'll work on that, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, the shallots are all ready to go. I saved some of this flour over here from earlier when I did the chicken, because I knew I was going to have to sprinkle this with some flour, and I just take a little on here. I'm using a half a teaspoon, and so I'm using about a half a teaspoon total. No, a half a teaspoon, so a whole teaspoon total. Just sprinkle it around like that in there. And then I'm going to pour 3/4 of a cup of this in here and let that simmer. Simmer down, baby, simmer down. So we'll let that simmer. Okay, that's what it looks like now, just so you can get a look at it. And then I'm going to let it simmer like that for about 3 to 4 minutes and reduce that to almost half. All right, so that part happens pretty quick. It cooks down pretty quick. You can see my little sack of herbs in there. But basically, when you start seeing about, I don't know, halfway down on a big mushroom, you could tell. So you can see it's a lot less. So anyhow, now I'm going to add the chicken broth. And we put 2 cups of chicken broth in. And we're going to let that cook down and let that thicken. And if it doesn't thicken enough for you, there's still a little more flour you can use to thicken that up. And then I'll bring the heat back up on this, back up to 7, which is pretty warm. It's a pretty big flame. And then once it starts to boil, I'll lower that back down. So see how it's not doing anything yet? And then once it starts boiling, I'll lower it back down. You can see that mushroom starting to dance. It's doing the dance right there. So it's starting to boil. So then once the whole thing goes, we'll lower it down and then I'll just stir it, keep an eye on it, and then do a little thickening here as we go. This will take about 4 minutes to do this, so I'm not going to record all that. All right? All right, we're going to do about a handful of parsley. We're going to dice this up, okay? So mince it. Just take your knife, go back and forth, just like so, okay? Ah, a perfect mince. Mincy mince. All right, that's good. All right, so that reduced down a little bit, got a little thicker. You add the chicken, and then I'll pull out the, if you have those 8 leaves, pull them out now. I pulled out mine already because I had to do it that way, but I didn't want my thing to break apart in there. So basically I pulled mine out. You could probably pull them out at the end if you want to pull them out at the end. But then the chicken goes back in there, and you're going to cook that chicken until it's done, depending on how much you cooked it before. When you browned it and how thick your pieces are, that's going to make the difference. So what I'll do is I'll cook it, and then I'll pull out one of these big pieces, cut it open, and take a look at it. And if it's cooked through, then all the rest is cooked through. So we'll do that probably 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll check back. All right, hold the noodles, and now we need to get a ½ cup of noodle water. Okay, so this is how I do it. I just reach in here like this with my little cup, snatch it out, boom. Then I take this, dump it in here, boom, boom, boom. Strain this off, back in pot, back in pot. Right, this part you're not going to like because it's not very healthy. But we're going to need to put a tablespoon of olive oil in here, like so. I'm going to use ½ a teaspoon of lemon juice, like so. Yoink. Okay, and then we're going to do some butter. 3 little pats of butter. And we're going to let all that marinate in here in the hot noodles. Okay, then we're going to take that other ½ a handful that we didn't use on the parsley. We're going to get that up in here. Just like that, okay? Oh, it's hot, careful. That's going to be our sauce in the noodles. Okay? Just like that. How's that look, Emma? You getting hungry? Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to do a little salt and pepper on the noodles. Okay. Couple grinds here, couple grinds there. I'm going to go with a little kosher on this one this time. Into the hand. Okay. That's it. That's chicken marsala, kids, right there.
She's been making so many videos.
There you go. Yum, yum, get you some.
Yeah.
That's the Danos slogan. I wonder if I could say that. Or catchphrase. All right. There you go. All right. I hope you guys like it. Try it and put in the comments if you can do it and if you enjoyed it. Peace.